Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for Challenger League Qualifiers number 4 for the last chance for a team to get the final 2 spots for Challenger League Season 10. Great matchup on our hands. We got Shrug versus Forsaken. 2 formidable rosters with relatively known players, so this is going to be quite interesting to say the least. Obviously, we have a caster on the board, Hands of Flynn, great guy. And on the other side of the team, there's some formidable Twitch streamers, so it's going to be quite interesting. You got the veterans versus the streamers. Who's going to come out on top? We don't know because someone's going to dip out of the game. That will be Flynn.
That's a horrible start.
It's a great way to start it off. This is amazing. So, we're going to start off with the Maverick followed by a Thatcher. This is 2 quite relatively interesting bands. We don't commonly see those being attributed with one another, especially on Villa, so it's going to be definitely intriguing
Maverick
match.
on Villa is already a scratcher.
Yeah, maybe it's a counter band, but I don't recalling seeing Maverick being played as much on Villa, so this is going to be quite interesting. Now, Mir being off the board, though, no surprise there. Flynn's going to be back in the lobby, so we're all good there. But honestly, you know what I can potentially see? Maestro is extremely strong
on 90,
in the hands
definitely.
of both these teams. Yeah, so I'm wondering if
a lot of long angles with the ult of Maestro, so I would see him ban would not be surprising. But same point,
it wouldn't
Echo
be surprising,
still...
but the same, like,
yeah,
just because both these teams really like utilizing him, but maybe one of them is comfortable enough to outright ban him in order for the other team to use it, or to prevent them from using it. But that's not going to be the case. Echo's going to be taken off the board. No surprise there. I'm pretty sure Shrug's most banned operator is Echo, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked, I believe it was. However, this time around, no difference whatsoever going to be. But I'm really interested to see how the Thatcher versus Maverick band is just going to basically affect this matchup.
Thatcher band is interesting because there's not a lot, like, it's not like you're destroying devices. Like, you can destroy goo mines, you can destroy probably ADSs, stuff like that, which probably might help for grenades and here and there. But it's like, I don't think Thatcher's that big of a deal here as compared to other maps like Clubhouse or Border.
Yeah, I think what they had in mind with banning the Thatcher is potentially going to try and go below with an IQ and be comfortable with doing a downstairs clear, and then try and dispatch of anything that might be used to prevent opening up of walls or gadgets, utility, etc. So I think that's just forcing the team rather into an uncomfortable position. There isn't, so... But, you know, there's always a possibility for later rounds, potentially maybe they're reading into the fact that they have a set strat in mind, maybe it doesn't involve an IQ this time around. However, it is always a possibility. So, again, go below, maybe you're rather comfortable with it, trying to dispatch of utility there. Also, impact tricking is rather prevalent, so maybe outright banning the Thatcher is maybe just more of like a comfort ban, just because you have to go.
I'm also interested why they're not bringing Hibana rather than Thermite, though. Because, you know, impact tricking is one of the mainstays here for Villa.
I feel like maybe they ran into the fact they might be going trophy first, because typically teams will take a bottom when attacking Aviator because they can get lines of sight and not necessarily holes that they can walk in from, but rather just cut off rotations, maybe force someone behind bar to be in a rather precarious standpoint, simply because he's not able to play a comfortable position behind the bar, versus when you're attacking trophy. You try to get the wall open, and then you try getting picks from there, or even trying to get an entry on a site to try and plant in that default plant spots behind the pillar, stations right next to the bomb.
I guess it's true, but still, dealing with a exothermic charge on a wall is much easier to deal with impact than exothermic charge. X-Kairos, I mean. At this point, I feel like they have Cloud Strike might have the impacts available to do so anyway. No, he'll have executed an Nature Cell instead, so it may... We'll see what happens. There's no ADS, though, for Cloud Strike, though, looks like, around this area. So a grenade comes flying over.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if a grenade were to be lobbed from the roof, obviously, there's a possible angle where if you go actually on top of the skylight on the far side of the roof, you can actually see it. Yes, you're looking right in front of it. Sorry, other side of the roof. The right. I can't see the compass, but other side.
See the compass?
Other side. I don't know. We're Aviator.
I'm just flipping it because I don't know what
Go
you're
above
talking
Aviator. Above Aviator, Benny. Come on, we got this.
It's all good at this point.
It's all good. But you can basically lodge a grenade, yes, on top of that green thing. I don't know what you call that. That triangle, well, that triangle prism thing. And if you were to lodge that at a certain angle, you can actually land a grenade onto the Kaid playing by his certain position. So, if it was yes there, he is dead without a doubt. You don't even have to click it.
Already starting is they're going to try and open up the wall. Ricky will put it on there, and it will be opened up as Cloud Strike puts the, let's call it, too late.
That's quite unfortunate right there, coming out from the Kaid. Obviously, a Bandit could have been played within his vicinity, and then knowing a Bandit could obviously ban trick with an ADS being there would have been rather helpful. But I do believe they had a mute jammer, and it was dispatched, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, that's not going to be the case. Wall is going to be opened, and map control is, yes, established. I wouldn't say heavily in the favor for second 5, but in a rather comfortable standpoint. You do have bedroom control, and you're most likely going to establish bathroom control just here in a second. However, that's not going to be the case, as with 1 minute left on the board,
Down.
control of
down
bomb
from
site.
the C4.
Oh, geez, that's quite unfortunate. This is looking really
Wrath
good,
is
actually.
going for a flank as well. Is he going to get 1 on Senpai? Get 2 and finish off Faded. He's going to back off at that point. Great. That's a great aggression right there. Some controlled aggression, but not loading against Terp as well. And now it's down to just Benji and Ricky.
Yeah, so that calculated aggression coming out there from the Jaeger, being able to peek around and get 2 kills, really put them in a rather comfortable standpoint. But they're going to tap 1 back on, so not completely demonized defeat, but doesn't look like it's still going to pan out in your favor. Now, despite it being a 3v2, make that a 3v1 now as a triple kill is going to come out from the Jaeger. Ricky's going to be last one alive with 5 HP left on the board, and it's not going to be looking so good from here. At this point, there's not much time left on the board. You don't have much HP, you don't have much utility to try and, well, get anything down. He does have the bomb in his hand, though, so if he were to perhaps fake the plans, I don't see potential going down, and I don't even see him being able to entry or get a kill. However, it's still a possibility nonetheless.
That time running out, he's gonna push through, but Wrath will finish him off, and Shrug will win their first defense here on Villa. Not too crazy to see, as it is a defense-sided map.
Yeah, so that was really well played from Wrath, reading into the fact of when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. He's going to peek around and get the kills that were necessary within that round. We did see early map control being established in the hands of Bedroom. Forsaken 5 being able to take it. No much contention there. They really could open the wall. Really, no utility lost there.
They were able to get the wall open quick. Of course, that's because
they
didn't really bring much to really stop them in the first place. But other than that, they really didn't take much. You had Terp go below with as a buck. Didn't do much underneath, of course, unfortunately.
It's quite unfortunate. I don't know what they caused them to stall, but they failed to establish bathroom control. They failed to watch the angles that were necessary, and ultimately didn't really do anything. They were able to tag 2 kills back, but at that point, they were just hoping to get whatever they could. It was a lost round at that point. So, heading to this next round, most likely going to be heading over to Aviator, as is typically considered the most favored bomb sites. So, as, well, you know, Aviators come from bomb site, we're going to go there. Kind of makes sense.
We'll see Mex on a Mozzie, though. We didn't see Mozzie actually. Did we see Mozzie last
No,
time?
we did see Mozzie. We did see
Mozzie
last
last
round.
Okay, never mind. I thought we did. That's great. No,
this is the exact same operator lineup.
Yeah, so they seem to be stuck on that, or really liking Kaid, though. Kaid, I'm not sure if he's bringing impacts or if anybody's going to have impacts this time around, but they seem to not really care about keeping the walls closed.
Yeah, so this is quite interesting. So I'm still trying to get what the projection of the Thatcher ban was. Maybe it's just a counter ban, maybe perhaps Forsaken 5 isn't accustomed to taking a Thatcher usually, and Shrug is, and they just want to wipe off an operator that they don't see as being viable within their own individual strategy, and that Shrug is. So maybe it's just a complete counter ban and not necessarily a comfort ban. Typically when teams will ban on Thatcher, it's because they have a set plan in mind, and they choose to implement that within the game. For
usually
example,
see Thatcher and like Jaeger ban out together as well, so to make it more difficult for the defenders.
I think Thatcher, if I'm not mistaken, last time I looked at it, the most common map he's banned on is Bank. I'm pretty sure it's Bank or Clubhouse. It's one of the two. And it's primarily banned within EU. We don't commonly see Thatcher being banned out throughout NA, so this is quite interesting to see this little bit of adaptation.
So we see first bar see Mex here rolling by himself off by Statuary and Trophy, but wow, Faded will hit a headshot right into Mex, come around the corner bedroom doorway. That was a fantastic shot from Faded. Take a lot of damage that endeavor.
He's going to be a sliver of HP coming out from that, so that's not going to be good whatsoever for the Nomad. However, utility's still on the board, so you still can place our air jabs in situations, certain positions that would lead to a rather favorable situation, simply because you can't get flanked without getting knocked on your feet and position being revealed. So, Mozzie getting taken off the board, that's one of your roam responders, it's also a C4 off the board, so that's a really, really good stand.
Mozzie at least did take drones away before that, so he's taking some information, he's just hindered the attackers from taking it, from having so many drones for their economy, which will hurt them, hopefully. The drone economy,
I mean, yes, he was able to take some drones, but he can't use them right now to be in their favor. So although, yes, he did limit the drone economy, he wasn't able to use it into a standpoint that is deemed favorable, simply because he can't really access them now. Well, obviously he can still access them, but I doubt... I think he took 1 drone, and within that time period, he didn't actually hop onto it to see if he could, like, set it up as, like, a camera angle, so... It's gonna be quite unlucky. Clouds, is he getting shot through the window?
Yeah, he's gonna shot from the 90 window, and he'll set a C4 off somewhere, but I don't know where that was even.
I have no idea. I like this setup though. Can we get eyes on those 2
Yep, so there's a portable shield
shields
by the door and lower shield off
like
by the
that.
south stairs. So they seem to have noticed that their enemy team is coming from the north side now, have positioned themselves to take in that approach from the on the south side. As you see CloudStrike with the shield watching, and you also see Flynn inside of study watching that north door.
This is going to be quite interesting, and with the new shield implementations that are coming with the new season, I feel like this setup that they have would be extremely potent, so it's going to be really interesting to see if it will be utilized from an even better standpoint than it already is. I really like it, though, so if anyone were to come up staircase, he's obviously going to be challenged by someone holding the shield placement, and if anyone were to come up
But unfortunately,
on
Benji
the
will
other
get
side
Wrath.
of 90...
And so Wrath was on the roam. He'll get taken by Benji. And time is running out here for Forsaken as they're going to have to really push through into Vault. They're out with the Vault. Now push through. See one. Flynn go down to Benji. Not loading. Will take out Benji in the refrag. Senpai will take a clutch truck though. Now it's down to a 1v4 with just not loading. He only takes 2 seconds. He's getting the plot and plant thawed down though. So that's a 2v1 postman situation.
Yeah, not looking favorable so far for the Maestros. It's going to be a 2v1, but 3K on the board. Can he make an ace? Not loading up against the clock and up against 2 gun barrels staring down at him. He's going to get flash and stunned out, so it's not looking so good. He's going to reload his weapon wisely as he currently only has 22 bullets, and he's going to lift that back up to 81 now.
Senpai is in study as well, so it's one in the study. It's pretty much crossing because you have one study, one in the hallway. They're going to push him at this point and kill him. Being left, Thermite. Let me finish him. I'll be Ricky.
That was a really good push for Forsaken 5, and although really interesting strategy coming out for Shrug, ultimately deeming it not favorable within that round simply because they weren't able to win it out, and that was a really well-executed push. Mozzie not being able to delay some time on the clock and combined with the defenders being absolutely overwhelmed on site ultimately led to the downfall of that strategy and the downfall of Shrug within round number 2. However, that bomb site is not locked, so they can make the adjustments that are necessary and try and win out this next round. Do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there is a 6-round rotation, so you will attack 6 times, and then you will defend 6 times. So just because you happen to mess up on one bomb site, will not necessarily mess up, but not win it, doesn't mean it's all over. You can go back to it, you can try adjusting the changes that are necessary, and you can try and win it again. So that's exactly what Shrug is going to try and do.
No real change from either team so when it comes to operators. The biggest thing for that round too is they were able to open Vault. That really was the big reason why they take that site, was even go through Vault into site and take down quite a few attackers from that Vault site. But I wonder if they had a mute in there or a Kai in there would make a difference. I know you can throw a grenade through the drone hole to destroy the devices on the wall, so maybe that's what happened when they opened the Vault wall too.
You can also impact it with Sophia charge. So if there's not an ADS there, it's because there's like a bookcase or a briefcase, something. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a briefcase within it, and if you just like hit the briefcase, that basically creates an explosion.
It looks like
right around the
CloudStrike is
vicinity.
going to electroclaw that wall this time, and he's going to put high so it can't be impacted or destroyed by a grenade or a impact from Zophia's lifeline.
The impact can't destroy it if it's an actual electrical high, but the grenade I do believe can. So
No, it's up there pretty high right now. See if he's able to get rid of that on the side of Forsaken 5 and what exactly different how they play. It looks like they have the same shield set up here on the southwest side. We'll see the team of Forsaken 5 pushing for bedroom, partially at least.
yes, the bedroom push has been a lot more prevalent than it was originally. Typically what teams would do is they try and take main stairs and study and then try and make their way onto site. But they would be absolutely convoluted from 90. So what teams have started to do is to actually try and take 90 first and then try and organize your push on this site. And it has seen a lot higher success rate. However, some teams have still not made the adjustment simply because they aren't as comfortable with it as they are pushing study. So it really comes down to variation with teams in the chase. Wow, words, by the way. In the case of Forsaken 5, they are extremely comfortable doing it, and they are really good at throwing out pushes from there, or holds.
I'm always interested to see how Mex is always on a solo roam like this. And he's like, just like last time, he was instantly taken out by, Faded when he pushed the door. But it's always interesting to see he's by himself on a roam, trying to get a lot of work done. This time, he's going to pull back entirely back to south stairs, as he doesn't want to get killed out within the first 30 seconds.
And he was able to burn a minute on the clock, so utility being dispatched in the hands of, I believe, concussion mines. However, no defender going to be residing on that side of the map, as Max will be able to rotate back safe and sound back to side Dan Jackal. I do believe he'll be able to track him. However, they're not going to be able to cut off his rotation simply because he's probably safe and sound back in sight right now.
Pet dispatch one of the evil eyes on 90, and they're looking to take control of 90 once more. So you Senpai probably jump onto the 90 window, just like last time where CloudStrike was shot. Let's hopefully CloudStrike is a little more aware of someone on the window as he's taking gunfights with people in there. He actually does see it. Well, so maybe try to C4, but Mexican on a different angle will take out Benji. Also, one will go down. Triple go down 2. Mexican, Mex will get 2. Looking for a third onto Faded.
He's just peeking around with the super shorty, and he's going to be able to, fortunately, get taken out, but not before he takes out two of his yeah. English is great. I really love how I'm able to speak.
Loading with the Aldo will take out Senpai on 90 window, and it's looking a lot better here for Shrug as they've had a much better time holding these angles from the attackers. Come around the corner, it looks like on 90 will be a thermite of Ricky.
Yeah, so that was not reading to the fact that they haven't gotten rid of the roam game was rather questionable from Forsaken 5, and it's going to ultimately do them in at the end. They are able to tag one back, not before they lose 3. And they're going to make a last-ditch rotation, but it's all but over at this point. A 4v1 scenario, not much time left on the clock to do relatively anything to outright win this round. He's going to get taken out. A beautiful defensive round from Shrug, and that was the adaptation they needed. That was so well done, so well performed, and they executed it for absolute fruition.
If anything, especially Mechs on the roam this time, a lot better job compared to the round before that. Getting taken out 30 seconds, and then now wasting time and only getting 2 kills for his team. And then at that point, they also deal with Senpai. They're able to read into the attack that Forsaken 5 did for this round. It was pretty much the same attack.
Yeah, so I was really confused on how the Mozzie was able to rotate up red stairs, because no one for Forsaken 5 was, 1, watching a rotation, 2, they shouldn't have even allowed it in the first place. They didn't really have to watch it. All you have to really do is place someone with an aviator. They shoddy out the bottom of the wall that's positioned within Astro, and you can basically watch a rotation up red stairs, and you can watch a rotation up aviators, or sorry,
well, they've no managed well for the air jab, so it's surprising
yeah,
air jab in
they didn't decide to air jab it. Mozzie was able to walk upstairs, gets one, pulls out the shotgun, gets another, was able to peek around and light one up, but unfortunately got taken down in that scenario. So it really caught me off guard, and I really did not know how to explain how that was allowed by Forsaken. You truly aren't able to do that at most levels of play, so seeing as the 2 really good teams making some common mistakes is rather shocking.
It seemed like they were looking complacent as they had won that round previously so well, or so one-sidedly. They seemed to get complacent in doing that same attack, and they expect, I don't know why they didn't expect Shrug to adapt and at least play a different game that time.
I think it's Forsaken 5, more or less, sticking to their own playstyle and not necessarily adapting based off of Shrug's playstyle. They're doing what they feel comfortable with, and they're going to keep trying it until they ultimately puncture the armor that's set up on their body.
Mex is just heal down Benji in a very ballsy jump out of the bathroom, as most people should understand that one, or at least expect that one, really. But sometimes people get too complacent here on the higher level as they don't expect it, or they don't think people would.
I don't know. I don't know how he's eligible to do that. You gotta be watching for these spawn peaks, especially at this level of play. This is for CL. This is the last qualifier. It's go big or go home at this point. Well, go to loser bracket. That's just his currently. So, you don't go home quite yet.
Let's go big or go back to loser bracket.
Go back to loser bracket. You don't like going there. It's not fun. You got a far ride and a long one up that. Shrug, honestly, last qualifier was... They were looking really good. They were able to go to the winners finals. They were ultimately lost to Parallax Gaming, and they ultimately went to CL. Congratulations to Parallax. Then they went down, looking really good. Was able to take their time, work on some counter strategy, but unfortunately they just fell short, losing to Akutsuki. So they're looking to bounce back and hopefully make it through this qualifier.
So they're looking to see the same push here, open up the wall into Statuary. They're a lot slower though this time, as they have the least turp below trying to get an angle on if they try to impact trick or stop them from being opened up. But they haven't destroyed these. They haven't destroyed the electrical. Looks like Liffy is gonna get it open. As I don't think Cloudstruck had enough time to put the electrical on the wall now.
Yeah, that's going to be quite unfortunate. Plus, he's going to be getting shot from below, so the electrical is going to get taken out. And I don't.
This is what the impacts. He has impacts this time for his for the use, but he's been flashed now. Won't be able to see, and the wall doesn't get open. So that flash, perfect timing from Ricky to get it open. Unfortunately, there's also an evil eye just waiting, watching there. Ever so annoying. Wrath will get one of the Benji though. Wrath will get 2 actually on a Turp 2 as well. So there goes both their people downstairs, taken out by Wrath. This Faded will go down to Wrath as well. Wrath is on a spree, but he'll finally get taken out by Ricky in a refrag. And now Flynn will then down Ricky. And now it's down to just Senpai.
Wrath on a heater at the current moment, but Senpai's going to be able to tag one back on. So 2v1 scenario, Mozzie, or not a Mozzie, a Maestro and a Mute up against the clock right now, as they got a lot of time to work with compared to what the Sophia is going on. And with 30 seconds left, it's not going to be looking so good. She's going to have to somehow displace herself from... It's possible, but she's between a rock and a hard stone right now. This is not looking so good whatsoever, because if he entries right here, he's most likely going to get crossfired into absolute oblivion. Not to mention, they also know his location. So
he's looking to use those.
Yeah,
look at his concussions, see what they are, but he'll screw one up because himself. He's going to push through the door, bathroom, pre-fire the desk. One's me to his left. There'll be the Flynn on the mute, who'll take heavy damage actually in that engagement, but time's run out. And Shrug will win that round.
That was quite unlucky. It was potentially doable, but it's ultimately not likely would be the outcome, simply because he wasn't able to win that out.
More than anything, Wrath just getting away with another spree of kills, just like Mex got that last round, but still, he was supposed to get around before that.
Well, Wrath started off with the 4. He started off with the 4K, and I do believe he just got a 3K. Yep. So, I mean, can we see the scoreboard real quick?
Yeah, I saw it right now. But yeah, the first round they played this site. Mex got away with it, running through bathroom into Mech's bedroom. And this time, he gets the 2 downstairs. He gets the 2, gets 1 more in bathroom, and then goes for a 4th. Finally gets refrag. But still, how does he get away with it?
It's Wrath, man. He's nuts.
Again, these are the refrags you need to see from this team, and they're not being able to refrag these roamers who are so deadly for the team of Shrug. As we go to our tertiary site of kitchen and dining. We'll see Terp jump off of the buck onto a sledge instead, as he's looking for that vertical play.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good call, depending on what your favorite with. Sometimes people choose to go buck, sometimes you choose to sledge. Genuinely depends on what the map is and what bomb site they're attacking, more or less compared to the gun. Typically, what you would see back when Buck was not first introduced, but was first adapted into the Pro League meta, the Contra League meta, you would see people try and take Sledge over Buck at times, simply because the recoil was a little bit too abysmal for people to use the C8. However, people have adapted to that now. People have become extremely predominant with the C8, and they have been able to use it. However, in some instances, a lot more people are comfortable with the L85, so seeing that be implemented is not going to be too damaging, I guess, considering they're both really good guns, and they're both in the right hands completely lethal weapons that you can frag out with. We saw Thatcher yesterday. It was Levrod who just entry fragged with Thatcher on the L85 and got like 8 entry frag kills with Thatcher. Something
he got a lot
because
he clutched quite a few rounds too as
yeah, he clutched a 1v3. But the thing was, he wasn't like holding an angle and then like, oh yeah, he got a pick off, someone flanking. No, he was entry fragging with Thatcher and just absolutely fragging out. It was amazing.
It looks like they're not really trying to hold upstairs though for Shrug. They're allowing Forsaken 5 to take upstairs without really a fight. You had Mexi up there for a second throwing some black eyes, but that's really about it. Oh, but there's a C4 from Mex with that black eye.
That's going to be quite damaging. That's a jack off the board in the roam game. It's just become even more strengthened. You're going to see Bandit already rotate above, knowing that he won't be able to get tracked. So he's going to try and get aggressive on this point, and he's unfortunately not going to win out that gunfight. Speaking of the L85, Turks left kill, and is another one followed by. Can't see that on the board. It's so pixelated. I'm sorry. I believe that's Jaeger, though, I think. Because they had a Jaeger.
Yeah, that was Jaeger and Bandit off the board now.
Okay. At least I got that right. So, Jaeger and Bandit off the board, not going to be too detrimental. You still have 2 C4s in the hands of Valkyrie and Mute, and Maestro, I believe, are the operators, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And
there's
3 on 3
Flynn
scenario ensues. That's going to be Flynn's first pick of the game. So, coming in the hands of the SMG-11. Quite nice weapon to use.
Hell, his first kill of the game. Oh my god. He'll get another one actually too on his senpai.
Best caster, Kappa.
He gets 2. He gets 2 at the same angle from below. That's unfortunate for Forsaken 5.
That's a really good play from Flynn right there. Okay, he may be able to speak words, but he also speaks with actions. As he's able
that
to get
should have been
2 kills
communication on
the
Forsaken's 5 part to know where they got killed from, and Flynn's disconnected.
He got hit off. Protest.
Not only do we get Ricky, and that's a 1v2. It was previously a 3v or 4v3 and previously, but now due to Flynn's working out loading, that's a 1v2 with Terp. 30 seconds left to go.
Flynn's like, I did my work. I'm out, boys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys later.
Seriously.
Don't worry about it. Flynn's unfortunately going to disconnect, though. However, it's going to be a 1-on-2 scenario. Grenade's going to get tossed out, but the ADS will toss it back in, and it's unfortunately not going to explode. And, will explode that round all over the face of Forsaken is... We're going to see rehost. I think. I see typing in the chat. I can't see what they're typing, but I'm assuming it's going to be a rehost.
Yeah, we're going to be rehost. We're back in a second, guys. We're going to rehost this game real quick. Get Flynn back in this game. Alright, and we are back, guys, with Forsaken 5 versus Shrug after rehost. As you previously just saw, we just had Shrug win on Dining and Kitchen. So we're going back to Aviator Games as it's been 3 rounds. They won 3 straight in a row now at this point. 3 straight in a row. Oh yeah, 3 straight in a row.
Yeah. 3 straight in a row rounds.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty
so,
yeah. That round.
Flynn had a tactical celebration, so what he did was he left the game and completely shut off his PC so he could scream. And yeah, that's what happened. But no, overall, that round really came down to the mute basically being able to peek up through the holes that were already preset by the attackers, get those 2 impact frags, put it in a 3-on-2 scenario. Unfortunately, he disconnected from there, but he basically set up the So they can't rehost again because they've already used 1 rehost. So they have to play this round out 5-on-4. That is so unlucky because, you know, Flynn has disconnected, I think, what, 3 times now? Was it 3 or 2? Because he disconnected once when we were trying to set up the game. He disconnected.
He's disconnected. He's disconnected 4 times technically. So
that's not looking so good. So
he disconnected once in the lobby. He disconnected once before the round started, but he came back. And they disconnected again previously before rehosted. Now he's disconnected again after rehost.
Not to mention, he couldn't use any of his walls or his utility. So, just because it's a 5-on-4, yes, you can still say that's doable. It's not one of the most crucial things. He didn't get to put anything down. So, the strategy already implemented by Shrug has to be adapted. So, this is a huge game changer for Forsaken. They have to use what's going on, build up the momentum.
Someone's got to carry the weight now. Someone's got to cover down for
This
Flynn.
is so fun.
No, that's what they said. But anyway, someone's got to cover down Flynn at this point as he's not here. We'll see, hopefully Mix, as CloudStruck is actually going to get aggressive here at this point. Looking at a kill to start the round off, maybe put them back in a 4v4. He's actually going to pull off and not go for it. Mix will be downstairs with the cardiac sensor pulse instead of rather than Mozzie.
Yeah, I'm trying to load back in because I keep getting spam called and it keeps messing up my Discord and crashing it. It's fun. I love
but he is an IQ now rated from Benji, so Benji will see Mex from above with the electronic scanner, and there'll be Senpai to finish off Mex.
Oh my goodness, that is so well played. So we were talking about the IQ at the beginning of the game and basically saying, hey, she could be potentially utilized to try and dispatch, if anything, that the Thatcher would usually use by going below. However, they're not going to do that. They're going to use her in a rather entry fragger mindset, using her to dispatch the pulse and try and basically gain as much intel they can regarding operator position, which you don't typically see IQ played for that specified reason. So, seeing as them making the adaptation, knowing that Pulse coming on the board to bring an IQ is wonderfully done. And that's going to be a 5-on-3 scenario, but minute 30 seconds left on the clock, not much map control established as you typically would have within a 5-on-4, so it's still doable for Shrug, however, not likely.
Well, time running out with a minute left. They're going to be aware what's going to happen. Flynn has left the game again for a 5th time. Benji going below to maybe find if someone's on a camera and kind of electronic still. Ricky now pushing for this wall as they look to destroy it from the other way with the but Wrath will come around and get chirped. Wrath will get Ricky as well. Now down to a 3v3 with help of Wrath. But unfortunately, Wrath didn't get reflagged by Benji, and now it's a 2v5 or 2v3.
Attackers recovered.
I don't understand how close these rounds are getting despite being at a man disadvantage. This could potentially be a 2v2 if CloudStruck is able to get that little bit of a tap that he needs. And I'm rather mind-boggled because Forsaken is really not capitalizing on the opportunities that have been granted to them. 25 seconds left on the clock, okay? And they don't know what their final push is going to look like. CloudStruck is even confused because he doesn't know where these guys are. They don't even know where they're pushing in from. Oh, no.
Oh, with the impact. He'll take out Benji too. That's a 1v2 and loading with the last kill in the Senpai and Shrug in a 4v5.
Forsaken. That is... You had the opportunity, was granted to you. It's a 4v5. There was no utility. And they did not even enter into the site. They weren't able to get a single pick onto site, let alone.
So we'll start with what happened. It was really painful. First of all, not letting Wrath come up 90 and get the 2 kills on not only your Thermite, but also I think it was Thermite, another character. I can't remember who it was exactly a kill, but Thermite especially, because Thermite was especially needed there to get in the vault.
So right now what Flynn's doing, he's doing a tactical chat spam. It's where he just pisses off his teammates and enrages them, and basically they just win everything because they're so angry. So this is wonderful play coming out from him, leaving and rejoining the game over and over again. It's truly a wonderful tactical play on his part.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
I'm not gonna explain that one, but anyway, we're gonna go back.
I don't know.
Actually, so now we have 5v4 here on attack though. So this is the worst spot, as it's easier to defend with 4. It's not easy to attack with 4.
Wait a second. I have an idea. Okay.
What?
How long do you think he's gonna stay in the lobby before he disconnects again?
Can I ban these guys?
How long do you think?
Wait,
I think it's what? How long do you think he's gonna stay in the lobby? Do you think like 30 seconds, 40
He's
seconds?
been disconnected every like 2 minutes, so I give it 2 minutes.
2 minutes? You know what? I'm feeling I'm more of like a minute 45-second guy. So we're both wrong. That's a whole 25 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it. Attackers have dropped the bomb.
He's right now he's getting hit off. Okay. Hackers for some reason have his IP and they're just booting him offline.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
It's console.
They're 4v5 here on attack. They can still win this out, but it's gonna take a lot of work from the rest of the team over down for Flynn.
In all seriousness, Shrug is playing so well that even despite being at a man disadvantage, they've been able to win 2 rounds where Flynn has disconnected. So, yeah, you could say it's a 5-on-4. However, Forsaken is looking really scary right now since not being able to capitalize on the opportunities that are being ever so graciously granted towards them. Now, being on defense versus being on attack is obviously 2 different cases, and if Flynn's not able to rejoin, do keep in mind there are no rehosts left in the side of Shrug. They might be able to pull this round back, and unfortunately, I think this is exactly what Forsaken needs to win the match, because their attack runs don't look so good. Being a 5-on-5, they looked honestly
If they
like
win
they were
because
at
it's a
advantage.
4v5, that's gonna be just like
It's gonna suck, but when it was a 5-on-5, they played like they were at a man disadvantage, honestly. They were passive, they were scared to push some things, and they just kept face-checking everything like they didn't have any drones when they did. So, it's not looking so good for them. However, we've switched. They're on defense right now, and right now the time is playing into their favor. So it's going to be a study push coming out from Shrug, and they're going to try and hopefully put some rounds on the board to try and close out this map. Maybe they're going to be able to get it in 2 rounds and be a scoreline of 7-1 without Flynn. Who knows?
So the wall into games we opened up by not loading, and now they're going to push on the 90 side. Rather walk into 1. Not only get faded though elsewhere, and now it's down to just 4v4. They already tied it up.
So boxing me down below, trying to get some vertical play, and unfortunately the other side of things, that's going to be Jaeger, I believe that died?
Yep.
What's up with Smoke?
Jaeger's down by Benji, taken out. Benji was on the roam, he'll be taken out, and now it's a 3v4. It's still looking in the favor of Shrug, even though it's a started a 5v4.
I don't understand. They keep just pushing at the worst possible opportunities, and having a Smoke getting taken out is probably one of the worst operators, specifically because Smoke delays a multitude of time. And how Shrug is playing right now, they are just in sight, and there's no one there to deny it. It is a 5-on-4, and Forsaken is not capitalizing on this somehow.
That was a flawless round from Shrug. That was pretty good. I would say biggest thing is that they really didn't have anybody to deal with that aggression. You had people on the side of Shrug when they defended that site play 90. 90 is so important for that site, and nobody was playing it. You had only person that was offsite was Benji, and Benji got taken out on the roam.
The only round they won was the round that Flynn was in the lobby. Why is this a thing?
Yeah, they got that worked out in their favor when they did a rush there onto site. But yeah,
apparently this is exactly what Shrug needs to get to CL. Flynn just has to disconnect every opportune moment he gets, and for some reason they'll win every single round. This is, I mean, you know, they can't team kill if there's no teammates to team kill, so this is looking really good.
Yeah, so if anything, but still, that round though, we come to a point that just how turtle they play, and that how just does not work in their flavor. They need to hold some of these hinder them from taking them so fast, because in the end they took 90 very quickly.
All right,
no issue.
Flynn is now the entry fragger for Shrug. This is role change of a lifetime right here.
But yeah, if anything, we'll just talk about
bud?
yeah. What's up?
I said, how's your internet going, bud? Oh, yeah, bud. Sorry, Flint has the thickest Canadian accent I've ever heard, other than Corn Pop. And me meeting them for the first time for Canada Nationals was such a blissful experience because they have the thickest accent and it's hilarious. I love it. Oh, yeah, bud. He's back in the lobby. He's playing entry fire on Zafia. He's off the thermite rule. He says, I'm done with being the bomb planter.
Well, it's match
going
point, so this could be it for Forsaken 5.
Hey, anything is possible, man. Okay, maybe not everything, but in this case, it's it doesn't look too good.
So again, they have the Maestro with the ACOG. They have Qualifier operators with ACOGs. Why are they playing 90? Why is the only person offside going to be Benji? I hope they don't do that again this time. I know you had below the bulk of Cloud Shrug open up 90 somewhat. We could have someone play the corner of 90 well, by the window.
If I'm going to be completely honest, they just don't look like they know what they're doing on Villa.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not sure what they're doing exactly, but again, it's just qualms with understanding what they're exactly doing here.
It
so
feels like
safe as always.
I'm like trying to divulge into what they're trying to do. It feels like they're implementing a strategy that they've seen a multitude of other teams do, but they don't feel comfortable with the strategy they're doing. I feel like they copied this and they tried forcing it.
It looks like they're just playing the meta, like the vague meta that you get.
They have utility dispatched in locations that it should ideally be in. The problem is they're playing in such poor positions that it doesn't matter where the utility is being displaced if you don't have anyone to capitalize on kills that are basically being handed to you.
Max just gets rid of the Evil Eye that's sitting on the bookshelf by the southwest outside stairs. So it's already Evil Eye off the board. Max is in 90, gonna peek the doorway as nobody's gonna challenge him there.
I low-key just really wanted Max to just run to the site like a chicken without a head and just for some reason make it work.
Flynn took some damage though. I think in Endeavor with Benji. Yeah, Benji would take out Flynn. So Flynn's
going to do as much contribution as he did last round. So that's going to be a really good play from Shrug. Unfortunately, that's going to be actually frag off the board. However, honestly, that's what Forsaken 5 is looking. I said Shrug when I meant to say Forsaken 5. Shrug is not looking so good. Forsaken 5 is looking good though, so that's nice. This is what they need. It's fine. So Benchy's going to make his way down towards 90, and he's going to try and hopefully get a pick by leaning into open aggressing. Now he's going to peek, but it does not appear he's going to land any crucial shots.
But Cloud Shrug will take out Faded though from below, and so some work things below that nobody's dealing with. The Cloud Shrug just has all the angles from below with that skeleton key, and nobody's going to really stop him.
I'm so lost. How is the smoke being first taken out almost every single round? Well, only 2 rounds.
Benji was taking
that's been every single.
No,
it's smoke.
Still,
no,
yeah.
Smoke's dead.
Yeah, if anything, it's just Cloud Shrug is having no issues just staying below and just opening.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make much sense to me why you have this smoke over aggressive on angles and you shouldn't be over aggressive.
Here's the big issue. Now they're inside. They push all of the defenders into Vault or into the other side. A C4 we throw him, not getting any kills. You'll see 1 though from Ricky. Ricky gets 2 on no loading and Wrath, but Max will fight back on a Turp, and now it's a 2v2.
Looking really good for Forsaken right here. Mexican's going to try an entry frag, but it's no use. Defenders will win their first round. Forsaken 5 wins a round that they ever so needed. And you know what we're seeing right here? We're seeing a trend. So every round that Flynn's in the lobby, they lose. So I think Flynn needs to tactically disconnect, and they'll win the round. This is proven fact, by the way.
If anything, I would say that round only works out the favor because Forsaken 5 get aggressive like they need to. You saw Ricky on the Maestro take an aggressive stance and deal with the defenders or the attackers on site. Like they needed to get aggressive and take some gunfights. They seem so not willing to get confrontations. I don't understand why.
In all honesty, I think they just got a little overzealous with their strategy. It's not like we like joking about Flynn disconnecting, but he's truly a talented player. Like he is a really, really talented player when it comes to his overall mindset and his mechanical ability. Like a lot of people undermine him for being a caster, but he truly is an extremely talented individual. And him being put on a role that he's not typically accustomed to and trying to entry fire with Sophia ultimately did not work out. But you have to realize they literally ran up the staircase, didn't even drone it, and then just tried taking gunfight and it didn't work out. So, yeah, you can't say they lost the round, but at this point they are fairly confident they are going to win this match. And I am extremely confident in their ability to win this match as well, simply because Forsaken has looked so lost.
Yeah, again, they seem to not understand when to be aggressive, when to position themselves in a point to take flanks or take fights. It's the biggest thing with Forsaken 5 is they seem so lost in when to take fights. You see Benji gets to take out a flank, Ricky gets aggressive here at last round, maybe by chance, or was it by actual reason? Hard to say.
I don't know. He decided to peek onto 90 or peek
Yeah,
from 90,
yeah.
but he didn't need to at that opportune moment. He needed to a lot earlier when, there was a twitch right in front of the doorway, but he chose when they fall back and when they knew they fell back to then peek. There's just no coordination among this Forsaken roster, and it's unfortunately doing them in. We're right now at a scoreline of 2-6 in favor of Shrug. And it's been a 4v5 for 4 rounds, I believe.
Yeah, I was thinking 3-4 rounds, something like that. Yeah.
It was definitely so. It was 4 rounds because it was the final two defensive rounds for Shrug and the first 2 attack rounds. And that's going to be a really, really good pick right there. That's going to be quite unfortunate. Jaeger gets caught off guard, so does Senpai, and he's going to have to rotate all the way back. Shrug looking really good right now to try and take this map.
So that's already a first kill for Shrug already. They're already starting this off really well to end this game right here. This could be the last round, as we'll start off with Jaeger off the board, and you'll see Senpai being joined out once more below. And now, but Ricky will fight back and take Wrath though, at least.
That's good. That alleviates a lot of pressure off the pole simply because he can't get shot by the IQ now. So he can pull out his heartbeat sensor and get as much intel as he desires. Now, keep in mind, we're on trophy. Pulse being able to rotate down below, it's going to be a little bit hard considering the downstairs control is, well, not firmly in favor of the defenders as Pulse is going to be able to rotate down. That's a buck off the board. That's your vertical play off the board. So now it's just going to be reliant on the Sledge, Afia, and Hibana to outright take this round by most likely face checking their ways and doorways and trying to win their one-on-ones within Astro and the main wall.
It looks like they have a mute on the wall, and then Thatcher is banned, so they can't get that wall open unless you use a grenade of some sort or from below. So there's it looks like there's an explosion from below from Mex with a grenade, hopefully able to destroy that mute charge or mute jammer.
Yeah, I don't think he got it, so this isn't looking so good for Shrug right now.
Both of them are still on there.
Yeah, L85 has really good damage destruction on walls, so Flynn has just walked into the site, and there is no one that is looking at the door.
So nobody's holding the door. Flynn's gonna begin to plant the diffuser. He gets smoked out though. He's being smoked out. He's gonna push farther into statuary. And he's gonna find one. Faded will take out, not loading though. And now it's down to it 4v2, not in the favor of Shrug whatsoever. He's gonna start playing again, and this will be time when Max will need to take the kills as they push him. Oh, but the smoke's coming out. All the smoke tax cancer is coming out from the smoke of Faded. Another impact comes out. He's not able to take the shots on some Faded. And behind him, though, will be Ricky finish him off. And then Senpai will get the kill on Flynn with a C4. And Forsaken 5 are pulling the rounds back here.
Huh? What?
Yeah, that was definitely...
walked into sight in a 4-on-2 with Maestro Cam still up. With
well,
four
it's not like
people
it was a big issue
that
because
can look at the one angle that they have been called out from by the Pulse who is below and actively scanning them.
What's the point? They had the Pulse below, so they couldn't plant with him below, though. That's the biggest thing really right there.
Why not have at least one person watch the door? The only possible place they could entry from other than Astro. The wall isn't open. It's not hard. Just look at the cam.
I would say they were playing it safe more than anything. I don't see it's very wrong because they were in the position to maybe throw that if they got too aggressive. So it's not a bad thing for Forsaken 5 to pull back like that. But in such situations, if it was a 4v3 in that case or differently, it could go and differently for this side of Shrug.
I'm speechless right now. Like, Forsaken, yes, they won that match, but that truly came out of the smoke, delaying as much time as possible and forcing the attackers into rather unfavorable positions and ultimately getting C4 from below. So, truly, if it wasn't for smoke that round, we could have seen a very different outcome. Obviously, highly unlikely. That was a really poor choice of words, but that's truly what it was. It wasn't likely it was going to happen. They were going to win the round. However, it would have drastically changed their standpoint. Flynn would have got the plant down, and then Sledge would have been up against two potential attackers, and judging by how they have played, it doesn't seem like they would have done an opportune post-plant take, because they like to solo push everything and not work as a team. And unfortunately, that's the great recipe for disaster. A great one of that.
So we're going back to Treasury site now as they've won 2 in a row. We're going to Dining and Kitchen. Obviously saw Shrug win this out because of Flynn getting double kill, putting it back to a 3v3, and then able to win it out as they tried to push point with not a lot of time left. on the side of Forsaken 5. So let's see how exactly Shrug takes this. Again, they're bringing the buck of Cloud Shrug to open the floor up to get the vertical pressure. And nobody's upstairs for the moment. Nobody's looking to debate upstairs control.
Yeah, I'm pixelated again. I can pixels. So
it's fine. Pixels again, lol.
We got pixels. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are just tuning in, wasn't tuning in yesterday, I am casting off my phone right now. I am not at my setup. I am not home. So, trying my best right here. So, do bear with me if I happen to pronounce something wrong or just basically decide something wrong. It's very difficult to see, and I do greatly apologize for that. However, it's going to be a 5-on-5 situation now with 2 minutes left on the clock. Most likely going to see some vertical play coming out from the buck that is currently on the board and try and dispatch of any electrical gadgets residing within the site by using the IQ above. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out depending on how passive-aggressive these defenders can be on the attackers.
So let's see first Senpai take some damage as they're pushing up. Now, all the defenders are really on site. Nobody's really going to try and venture out too far. You at least have Benji, though, on the stairs going downstairs to the basement, but that's really about it. Most are sitting around. The Finn's gonna get the wall open. An impact is ready from Faded to stop it, but the X-Gyros, so we'll be destroy all the X-Gyros. Only should be destroy a few of them. But it's actually getting shot from somewhere else, but it still be opened up. So a small hole in that wall has been opened.
So that's not going to be so good. So Shrug not being able to get the wall that they chose to just open up is going to be rather big hiccup, because it does appear that's where the final plant is going to try and take place. And with only a smoke on site to delay that, Mute is currently not in a position that he can potentially get the crossfire. But obviously, it's just simple rotate. They're in the chill corner right now. Can you spectate Maestro real quick? Can you just see them? They're just chilling. And he's not chilling anymore. He just got his face taken right off.
That was the Valk. Valk got taken off. Maestro's still in the corner.
They were right next to each other. So
yeah. So I don't know if he knows that the Maestro's in the same corner. He's gonna turn the corner. He's gonna see Maestro as well and take his head off as well. So Mex gets one. Mex looking for a third, but Benji will take him out. Fade will get one. Benji will take a Cloud Struck. Fade will get Mexican. Flynn will get faded though, and Wrath will take out Benji and a refrag. 2 refrags. Now they're 1v3. This is the end of it. Turp will finish off. Wait, what? Oh, it's this trade. Wrath and Turp will trade each other off.
Maestro and Valkyrie. They were trying to have a romantic dinner in the corner, and unfortunately got shot by a jackal. He says, no. No, like.
That's a GG's to Shrug.
That was... You cannot undermine how lethal this Shrug roster is. And coming in bringing Wrath in favor of Nugs, I believe, is probably one of the best pickups I've seen, because look how instrumental Wrath was winning this round. He started off with, I believe, I think he finished with 17 kills, if I'm not mistaken. That is crazy. Coming into a roster that you've only been with for a week, being put on roles that yes, you are sometimes on, but he's an extremely flexible player. So perhaps maybe I've only seen him play on Bank, I believe, and I saw him play Sledge majority of the time. So him transitioning to an operator or a role set that maybe he does play all the time, but I haven't necessarily seen him play all the time. It's quite interesting because he just absolutely fragged out and won these rounds. They shouldn't have won. It was a 5-on-4. 4 rounds in a row. All 4 rounds.
All right, guys. Well, that will be our first game of the day. We're gonna take a break here and wait for the next game. Next game will probably be either Shrug versus Our Bad, or we'll do Team Thick versus somebody.
That's Shrug versus Our Bad. That's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, Shrug versus Our Bad should be good. We'll definitely probably cast that one next. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Again, I'm your caster Benial, and my co-caster Hunter Cash. See you guys a little bit. Any last words, Hunter?
Uzumaki is a bot.